I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Hello, sir.
Hey, hello.
No. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
Okay. Sorry.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just a little bit nervous right now.
No, it's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay, man. It's just a conversation question. If you have any question for me, just feel free to ask me everything. All right. So yeah,
When
you said you have some questions regarding the whole program.
Yes, sir. So, basically, I'm living here in the Philippines,
Yeah.
and I just graduated last year. I took a program. It's called here is aircraft maintenance technology.
Okay.
So it's a year program.
Yeah.
Then, eventually, as the pandemic hits or the quarantine, no, I have these struggles during my studies, especially like the from first year up to third year. Our setup is like an online setup.
Okay.
So with that, it's like I really find to study. It's very difficult for me to cope up with my studies.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's why I'm planning to study in Canada for a 2 years diploma program. It's called Aircraft Maintenance Engineering, Category M.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. I also remember from the text you sent me. You said you have your AMP license. What does that mean? I think I got a little bit confused with that.
Honestly, sir, I already finished the theoretical exam of ANP.
Okay,
It is called here in the Philippines, it's a CAAP license, Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. So I took the exam for aviation maintenance technician with airframe and power plant rating. But sir, I already finished the theoretical and I have a scheduled for practical exam next month. So after I finish that, that's the time I'm gonna get the uh, ANP license.
okay. So
Yes, sir.
for the practical exam, you have to go to the states to do that exam, right?
Here in the Philippines, we have the designated practical skill center.
Okay,
We have a few here in the Philippines. So you go there, you need to finish like riveting, safety wiring.
okay.
So the instructor will ask you some questions about engines, piston, gas turbines, something like that, sir.
Okay. And for the AMP license, right? It's the American FAA license, right? Or is it the Philippines license?
Sir, as far as I know, it's an Filipino license because if you want to have an ANP FAA license, you need to take another one from the FAA, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as I know, yes, sir.
Yeah. From your whole situation right now, so you have two options. One is going to be the easier one. The other one is going to be a longer process. It depends on your choice, right? So the first choice is, since you already have the educational background, right, and
Yep.
you're about to write your license exam, right? Once you get your license, right, if you can get an apprenticeship in the Philippines, so you work as an
Yes, sir.
apprentice, then after you work as an apprentice, you can try to do your license transfer to the Canadian license. But that is going to take a long process. And the reason why
Yes,
is,
sir.
first of all, the minimum requirement for you to be able to have a license transfer, it's a 4 year working as a licensed person. So you need 4 years of working experience to be able to transfer your license, and that's the minimum requirement. So you can see it's gonna be
Yes,
a
sir.
long process. So the other option you will have is to, like you said, come to Canada to study the program, which is the aircraft maintenance engineering program here.
Okay.
And the good thing is you already have an educational background regarding this program, right? So I believe it's going to be way more easier for you to
Yes,
pass
sir.
the program. And the program here is just a 2 year program. It's 18 months and 2 years, 2 year program. And which is the first year for me personally, from my experience, is the hardest part of the program. And the reason why is the first year, that's when you actually you do the mixture of avionics and maintenance, right? And the second
Yes,
year,
sir.
that's when you actually choose if you're going to be maintenance or avionics. Like I said, the 2 year, and trust me, it's gonna go by so fast. And once you finish your 2 year program, then you can work as an apprentice for 2 years and 6 months.
Yes,
After
sir.
your first 2 years, that's when you're eligible to write your license exam. But since you're about to get your license back home, I would say it's going to even be a plus for you because you already have some type of license, right? And that will actually differentiate you from a lot of apprentices that have no type of experience. Although you don't have the working experience, but regardless, that will still differentiate you from people that don't have no type of experience. You know what I mean? So what I would say is try to get the license in the Philippines first and
Okay, sir.
still be doing the process of your study permits, try to come here to study the program. But before you leave the Philippines, try to get the license. Like you said, it's always the practical that remains, right? It's just the practical, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. That's right.
Yeah. So if you can get the practical done and you get that license, at least you will have some type of foundation. And even when you come here to study, you can try to get like maybe like it's gonna be hard a little bit, but you can try to get like a part-time co-op program job. And the thing that can help you out is because you already have some type of license back home. Because you having some type of license is a proof that you already have some type of educational and experience
Okay.
background. You know what I mean? But those are the
Yes.
two options for me. If I was to advise you, I would say definitely come through the school route. And the reason why it's faster. It's a 2 year program. Work as an apprentice, 2 years and 6 months. Before after that 2 years and 6 months, you can get your license. You know what I mean? But before you leave the Philippines, my personal advice is try to get that Philippine license. It's trust me, it might not look like it's useful, but on your resume, when you start applying for job, it's going to stand out a lot. It's gonna stand out a lot. It's gonna help you out. Yeah.
Noted, sir. Actually, sir, I already contact a designated institute in Canada,
Okay.
in BCIT, because my relatives is living near there.
Okay.
So I read their article. So if I got the 18 months training, so the requirements for getting a Transport Canada AME license is like 48 months.
Yes.
Am I
Yes.
so so the 18 months of training will be credit, so it will be deducted from the 48 months. So
Yes.
I think it, just like what you said, it will be easier for me.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
gonna be way more easier. And like I said, and the fact that you have some type of license back home, it's a plus in terms of job opportunity, man. It's going to help you out a lot. Like when I graduated, I had zero experience, just zero working experience. But eventually, when I got my first apprentice job, it became way more easier to get my second job, to get my third job, get my fourth. You know what I mean? So since you already have some type of educational background and also the license back home, it's going to be a plus for you. It's going to help you out. And I'm so glad they are going for the M license. And the reason why is the M license right now, I would say it has more opportunity in terms of like opportunity for work, opportunity for pay and the benefits too. The benefit is you're able to get your type course, for different aircraft. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes,
And
even if you're applying just an apprentice, you will have a lot of opportunity
yeah,
as
so
an air maintenance M.
yeah, as a ham person, right? You don't start getting the benefits until you get your license. And the
Yes.
reason why is the difference between apprenticeship and a licensed person is a licensed person with a type course can sign a maintenance release, and that is where the value is. The value
Yes,
is
sir.
most of the aircraft, most of the airlines, the way they make money is the aircraft is flying, right? And for the aircraft to fly, you need a licensed person to validate that all the maintenance is done in accordance with the AMM and it's airworthy. You know what I mean? An
Yes.
apprentice cannot sign a maintenance release, and that is why there is more opportunities for a licensed person. But regardless, right now there's still opportunity for apprentices, and the reason why is a lot of licensed people are retiring. COVID made a really huge gap. Companies that don't hire apprentices, they usually hire just licensed person, are actually hiring people straight from school. And I know a lot of schools do this. They have this program, a core program with companies. I don't know about the school you're going to, but the school I went to, Centennial College, they have this core
Oh, sir.
program. Yes, so they have this core program with a bunch of companies whereby after your first year of school, you can actually work, do an internship for like 6 months to a year, and that actually counts towards you're actually being credited towards your license, and also
Oh, yes.
yes, and also majority of them actually get hired right after school. You know what I mean? So that's why you can see how desperate and needy these companies are to get apprentices, build up their skills, and eventually make them a licensed person. So right now, I would say is the best time to get into the industry. I know the immigration process might take a little bit long because of what is going
Yes,
on
sir.
right now. But
I'm working now for my immigration process, sir.
yeah, to get the study permits, to get the everything. I know how it is a little bit tight, but I would say you're doing the right thing, man. There's a lot of opportunity, and also for the immigration process, um, most of the immigration, what's it called? Immigration actually prioritize a lot of this trade occupation. You have
Yes, sir.
plumbing, you have good thing is aircraft maintenance is actually part of them. So you can actually go through the skilled trade worker routes to get your permanent residence in the future. And but yeah, there's a lot of benefit, man. It's gonna take a long process. It's not gonna be easy. There's gonna be a lot of
Yes, sir.
obstacles, but it's definitely something that can be done for sure. It can be done.
Actually, sir, I'm a little bit confused because I have a background here as aircraft maintenance technology
Yeah,
student.
yeah.
So I was thinking to get aircraft maintenance engineering category E to add more knowledge. But I really love the M category, sir. That's why I took the M.
Yeah,
I
from
take the M
yeah,
category.
for me, I mean, there's opportunity for both of them for the E and M. You know what I mean? But right now, I would say that there's more demand for the M license. In the future, with evolutions of technology and evolution of aircraft, there might be actually be more demand for E. You never know, right? Or eventually, the Transport Canada might actually merge the M and E license together. There's a lot of companies that are doing that now. They're merging the M and E license together. But for right now, 2025, and I would say 2026, I would say there's more opportunity for the M license, for sure.
So
Yeah.
I just have a question. For
Yeah.
example, you already got your AMEM license.
Yes.
So, but you want to transfer from to S license. Is it possible, sir?
Yeah, it's possible. Actually, it's best for you to get your M license first, then after get your S license. And the reason why is if you get your S license first, right? The S license, you don't actually have to go to school for the aircraft maintenance course. I know some schools do offer just the aircraft structural assembler. It's a different course actually that you can do, right? And once you get, it's like a year, I think it's a year program or a 6 month program. Once you do that, you can actually become a structural person and you fill out your logbook. And once you fill out your logbook, you get your S license. But if you have your S license and you're trying to get your M license, you have to go back to school again for 2 years.
I see.
You know what I mean? You got to go back to school again. But if you get your M license first, right? You get your M license first, you get your M license, and you want to like eventually get your S license, right? All you got to do is, let's say you're working for an airline company, right? All you got to do is talk to your supervisor, and they will change your title from M license to S license, and you're going to be doing more of S license, right? S license job like riveting, structural repairs, right? And during that process, all you have to do is fill out your logbook. Once you fill out your logbook for a year, you can actually submit your logbook to Transport Canada, and they will evaluate your logbook and see if it's actually it's qualified. And once you're done, that's it. You get your S license. So for me, I prefer people going through the M license first. Then after you can get your S license. After it's way more easier. Yeah.
Sir, I also have another question.
Yes.
Is it possible to gain your apprenticeship to a company that offers like gas turbine or an airliner company? Is it possible, sir?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to get your apprenticeship anywhere. Me, I starting off from for someone that does not have experience, and I'm just talking from my own personal experience. I always recommend people going through the heavy maintenance route, and the reason why is heavy maintenance you do a lot of C check, and C check and A check is whereby the aircraft comes in, right? The aircraft stays in the hangar for a month
Yes, sir.
or even more. You remove everything. You remove all the panels, you remove all the seats, you remove all the engine, everything. So basically
Yes,
the
sir.
aircraft is naked, and you got to start doing inspection and replacing parts. You know what I mean? During that process, you're going to build a lot of your skill hand experience. You know what I mean? And also, it's going to be beneficial to your license, because one of the requirements to get your license is your logbook. So you got to fill out the logbook. A logbook is, it's a proof that shows Transport Canada that you already done the tax in accordance to CARS 571. So there are a bunch of tax on the logbook that actually tells you to do, and the licensed person have to sign those tax you do, right? I actually made a video regarding that. I should upload that video this week. But yeah, the reason why I say heavy maintenance, it's way more easier to get your logbook signed in an
Yes, sir.
heavy maintenance facility, because you are doing a lot of this job frequently. A lot of the job. But for line maintenance for like an airline company, most of the time you're doing service check, and service check is like the aircraft comes in, you check the most important
Yes,
part of the aircraft, and part of the most important system of the aircraft, make sure the aircraft is serviceable, and the aircraft
yes, sir.
flies right away. You know what I mean? So you're not really doing a lot of maintenance. It's maybe, unless if you're working night shift and you have like a check and you have to do like some stuff, but for the most part, it's faster to get your logbook in an heavy maintenance facility than a line maintenance. But if your goal is to work for the airline, then definitely, and you have the opportunity to work for an airline, I would say definitely go for it. But me personally, I always recommend go through the heavy maintenance facility, get as much as you can for your logbook, right? Then once your logbook is like, let's say 80% done, you can start looking for opportunity in a airline company, and it's going to be way more easier, because now you already build your resume, you already build some type of experience, and it's going to be way more easier to get a job from an heavy maintenance rather than from a school. But if you get regardless, if you get a job in an airline company from school, then definitely go for it. Both ways you're still winning. It's a win-win, but the only thing is the heavy maintenance is it's a little bit faster. It's gonna speed up your license process a little bit faster, and that is because you can get your logbook signed faster, and also it's going to build a lot of your skills. Like you're going to learn a lot in the heavy maintenance facility. You're gonna learn a lot for sure.
Sir, how about do the companies offers like you're gonna do here base maintenance or line maintenance? What if I fall under the line maintenance? So it favorable for the logbook for Transport Canada license?
Yeah, so regardless of if you're base line maintenance, you can still sign your logbook. But the only thing is for line maintenance, it's going to be harder to get your logbook signed faster. It's
I
going to
see,
be
sir.
faster. It's going to be. I had friends that got the opportunity for line maintenance right after school. It took them like almost close to 3 to 4 years to get their logbook signed properly. Yeah, but
I
an
see.
heavy maintenance, it's way faster to sign your logbook. But regardless, there is still pros and cons for both side. You know, line maintenance, you get the pay is way more better than heavy maintenance, or it's way more better. There's a lot of benefit, um, you know. So it depends on what stage you are at that point, and also the opportunities that are open. But me personally, I always recommend the heavy maintenance route
Yes.
as an apprentice.
Sir, if for example I took the heavy maintenance route or the base maintenance,
Yep.
but my career is to be a line maintenance. So is it like uh, do I have an advantage to be a line maintenance
Yeah, yeah, it's still the same thing. You're still
or just a base maintenance, sir?
yeah. So even some hairline, they do have the hairline, right? They have two departments. They have the line maintenance and they have the base maintenance. So the line maintenance are guys that actually work on the ramp. They do a lot of this quick turn service check.
Yes, sir.
The guys that are the base one, they work in the hangar, and that's where we do a lot of overnight shifts and we do a lot of the A check. So let's say you get an opportunity to work for an airline, right? And you get the base part. You're working at the hangar. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. It's still the you still get the same opportunity regardless. Like it does not matter if you work in the heavy maintenance. Let's say you eventually in the future you're tired of working heavy maintenance. You can start applying for jobs in the airline, that offer the line maintenance. So for me, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that because as an apprentice from school with no experience, it's a good practice. It's a good way to practice your hand skills, unless if you have some type of mechanic background. But for me, when I came from school, I had no type of mechanic background. So for me, it was a really good practice and it really helped me out a lot. And that's why I usually recommend people to go through that route. And it's gonna speed up your license process faster. You're gonna get your logbook signed faster, way more faster. But regardless, there's still benefit for both sides, and you can still get your license from both sides, regardless.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sir, can I have a question?
Oh
For
yeah, I can have so
example,
many questions.
you have an experience as a cabin mechanic, cabin maintenance, sir.
Yeah.
Is it gonna fall under the M category or S category?
So as a cabin maintenance, no, you can unless you can get your license as a cabin mechanic. And the reason why is you're not working on the engine, right? You are actually working on they call it they call it yeah, what is it called? You're working on interiors, right? So
Yes.
most airline companies have they have four departments. They have the mechanics, they have the structures, they have the avionics, and they have the cabin. So cabin, you don't actually need to go to school to work in a cabin department. You don't have to go to school as an aircraft mechanic to work in the cabin department. If you have some type of I don't know hand skills experience, you can actually work in the cabin department because you're working on parts that are not. It's called in aviation in maintenance they call it elementary work, right? Elementary work that does not require any type of license,
Mm,
personnel. So if you work in the cabin department, you don't need a license, and you cannot get your license working in the cabin department. You have to work on an engine. You know what I mean? You got to do maintenance on the engine. Yeah.
because sir, during my OJT days, so we focus more on cabin maintenance
Okay.
on both wide body and narrow body, sir. That's why I think it will also give me an advantage to
Yep.
have that knowledge.
Exactly. It's going to give advantage when it comes to experience. Having that on your license, on your resume as an apprentice, man, you're golden. You already have some type of working experience. You already have your license back home. And once you come here, you finish your 2 years your 2 years school, and you're trying to look for a job. It's going to be faster than someone that has zero experience. You know?
Sir,
Yeah. Yeah.
sir, may I ask, are you working on base maintenance or
Yeah, yeah.
line
Right now,
maintenance?
I'm working in the base. I work in the hangar most of the time. I work in the hangar.
Sir?
I work in the hangar base. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
So, may I ask, sir, what type of aircraft are you handling?
Right now I have the type course for the 220, the Airbus 220, and I'm about to get the Boeing 787. So those are the two aircraft I mostly work on.
Uh,
But
um,
yeah, but there's a this
Sir, also,
yeah.
for example, when you get your license, your AMA license, so how are you assigned for this particular aircraft? For example, Boeing, like Boeing triple seven, sir.
Yeah, so I mean, that question is all based on the company's the way they plan their stuff, right? There's actually a department for bigger companies. There's actually a department called planning. So it depends on what checks are available for that specific type of aircraft. So let's say tonight, um, you know, the due date for a check for the 777 is today, is tomorrow. They have to plan it ahead of time. So it all depends on planning. You know what I mean? We don't decide what aircraft comes in the hangar. There's a different department that actually plans that. But yeah, unless if you're working for like a private jet or private company, then yeah, you might have to do a lot of some planning. But for the most part, bigger companies, MRO companies, there are different departments that actually plan all those tasks and the type of aircraft you're gonna work on. But once you get your type course for a specific type of aircraft, for the most part, you're gonna be working on that type of aircraft. Unless, let's say that night, your type of aircraft is not coming for that night, right? So they might plan you to do a different aircraft, you know. But for the most part, if you have a type course for that, let's say for the 777, whenever the 777 comes to that base, you're going to be working on the 777 for sure.
Sir,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the mechanics for small aircraft? So, is it the M1 license, right, sir?
Yeah, for smaller aircraft, yeah, turboprops,
Uh,
propellers, M1. For turbine
is it,
engines,
sir, in demand in Canada if you have that
um,
license?
for M1, man,
Or
M1
is
is
it the
yeah. There is job for M1, but I would say the demand is not that much. The pay is not that much, you know.
uh,
Uh, those M1 companies are for like let's say people that are trying to become a pilot, they have pilot schools, so
I
they need a
see.
lot of M1 personnel. Smaller aircraft, it's not lucrative. There's not a lot of demand for it. But right now, there's more demand for turbine engine aircraft. There's more for M2 license.
I see, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
anytime,
I
man.
learned a lot.
Yeah, anytime. But like I said, if you have any question, just feel free to text me. Me personally, I like the call, That way you can, it's harder to type all those questions in one time,
Yes.
and plus the time difference. So having a quick conversation like this, it's way more better for me. And but
Actually,
yeah.
sir, I'm watching your videos since I think last year about your apprentice video.
Oh wow.
Because when I type at YouTube, aircraft maintenance engineer, the first video that comes is yours. That's why
Oh shit, I
I
appreciate it, man.
initiated and
Yeah,
check
thanks,
you
man.
on
I was also in
Instagram.
the same situation too, as an apprentice trying to figure everything out. There was not that much information online, so that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube, and I'm grateful people
Yes.
appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, if you're
Yes.
having a question anytime, just feel free. We can schedule a call like this, and we can talk about it. All right,
Sure, sir.
all right, bro. We'll take it easy. All right, take care.
Thank you so much, sir.
Take care. Bye bye. Yeah, bye. Guys, if you have any question regarding aircraft maintenance engineering and you need someone to guide you through, you need someone to give you the answer to your information, you need someone to give you the benefit and the different route of how you can get your aircraft maintenance engineering license. I do offer free consultation, and all you have to do is text me on Instagram and we can schedule a call like this. For you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Peter. I'm an aircraft maintenance engineer, and I do specialize and give information about aircraft maintenance on my channel. For you guys that are new to my channel, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys.